can we just tell people what, one day you were in the classroom and now here you are at World in Conversation for like your second year?
Yeah, it's my third semester with Wings.
Right.
Is that on? Testing. Yeah, this is my third semester with Wink. I took a semester off in the program, so what should have been a 3-semester series, I kind of turned into a 4-semester series.
So what are you getting? What have you learned about yourself? What have you learned that you will take with you in your career? What skills are you getting?
Well, I'm actually in the process of applying to graduate school and likely going to be a Master's of International Affairs or Global Diplomacy.
Uh-huh.
And I cannot wait to talk about Wink in those applications because I feel like a lot of just the essence of the method and what we learn in practice is getting alternative perspectives from participants of all backgrounds, and that is international diplomacy, and taking those different perspectives and different experiences and finding kind of like the commonalities in the middle ground and where possibly compromise or policy could be made that bridges all gaps.
Yo, that's cool. Elijah? No, that's very cool, actually. There's nothing more meaningful than that. And you don't have to be interested in a career in diplomacy. You can be, for example, today, Elijah is one of the trainers at Wink. He and I were at the local prison. We teach a class at the prison on Tuesdays and Thursdays right before this class, and I watched Elijah using his skills at the prison, man. It was pretty cool.
We also have an alum that recently told me he is in business, and he said that his numbers that he every month are higher than any other team, and he said it's directly because of how he knows how to talk to people because of World in Conversation.
Is he a manager for like the team?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say about the skills that you learn here at World in Conversation is you really take on skills that helps you lead groups, and that directly relates as to why Laurie has a former alumni that's from World in Conversation that is able to lead a group and build their small team culture up to a point where they're excelling at their, with their sales goals. Because in order to, I'm sure that he's finding ways to get to their intrinsic motivation, or what do these sales associates actually need, to perform better. And you can't figure out what people need unless you understand the skills to figure that out. You learn that here at World in Conversation for sure. Leadership skills, 1,000%. Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing more you can say, really, Dr. Mulvey.
Actually, we would say one more thing.
All right.
I think we all know why dialogue fails, including in your families or our families and our friendships and also in the world. And so if we know how it fails, it means we also know how to make it work. And so it's kind of cool to be able to do that in the world too.
I would say in these times it's essential, actually. So, okay, listen, thanks. Thanks for being smiling faces.
Got you, yeah.
Anytime.
It'll be a 123 Pond at 6 o'clock, the info sessions, or 6:10 to give you guys time to leave class. So 123 Pond, 6:10. I'll be there, as well as another trainer, Pedro. So, yeah, hope to see your faces.
Thanks, Philip. Thanks. Thanks, man. Laurie is back today. You may remember Laurie is my, I don't like calling you my wife, but you are my, dude, you are my wife. I don't know. Okay, you're my wife. It's more than that. It's just so much more than that. You're so much, yeah. If you understood our relationship, we would know what. Yeah, it's my. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
What's that?
I'm glad to be here, Sam.
Dude, I'm so happy to have you here. And what we're going to do today, the reason I asked Laurie in is because, first off, you need to know.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I just want to say one thing. Our entire relationship is built around conversation. So
That's true.
we never, when we started seeing one another, we didn't like go on dates. We would just go sit and talk to each other. Like that was it, man. That was the idea of a fun time. And it's still like that every day. We start the day and we end the day with a conversation. And what we're going to do today is demonstrate really this method, this way of engaging people, of facilitating people, that Laurie, that you really have shown me, have taught me, which is what has allowed me to do what I do in Social 19. I'm your best student.
You are my best student.
Well, not your best student. You got a lot of students that are better than me, but I'm the one that's most visible. Yeah.
That might be true.
Yeah. I think it probably is true. You have a lot more. You have a lot of people that are way better.
Can anyone? What is going on with you?
No, I don't know. It's just nice. It's so nice having you here. I'm giddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you are giddy.
So, okay. So listen, we're calling this "How Questions Become Stories." Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to invite two different pairs of students up, of people, and we're going to have them ask questions to one another. And can you go to the next slide? Can you give us like...
I will say something.
Yeah, you say a quick tutorial here.
So, if you were to join World in Conversation, you would learn skills, but more importantly, you'd get a mindset. But the skills are also important, and one of the skills, just one, is how to ask questions. How to ask questions in a way that invites people to respond, as opposed to shutting them down, right? And especially when you're talking to someone about something touchy or something controversial, it helps to be able to invite somebody into a conversation without them becoming defensive. And so this image, which is from our online book, which you could read, and it's free and it's cool, what this is showing you is the really simple piece of information, is that we never ask why questions, because why questions make people feel defensive. Right? So why did you get home at 11 o'clock instead of 9, right? As opposed to what got in the way of you getting here? Something like that. So the point is, we never ask why questions, and there's a whole practice of how to get you to shift your mind so that you're always asking questions that start with either what or how. And those questions open up a story response versus either something defensive or a closed-ended question, which is getting only a yes or no response.
Or a one answer response.
Like, do you like that? Are you interested? Is that good? Those are all closed questions. Someone can just be like, yep, that's it. The conversation's over.
And if you're on the dating scene, you want to pay really close attention here today, because this is how you make a date go from like a level 3 date to a level 9 or a 10. This is it right here. Okay, so if you're on the dating scene, I almost said especially guys. I don't know why. It's everybody. You want to follow this, okay? So watch what's going on down here. And it's all related to class. The conversations we're having today are definitely going to be directly related to class. It's cool. To the theme. Okay?
What's the theme?
The theme is stories, is extracting stories. Because, in the end, one of the things that I see, I'm watching now, what I'm watching happen, I'm watching in the media and social media, but I'm watching at every level, is we're not learning other people's stories. And Elijah and I, at the prison today, we have a class with 9 men.
You should say what the class is.
Yeah, the class, it's a Social 19 that we're teaching to 9 men who are incarcerated at one of the local prisons. And as we
Can we just say what just because I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I know I've never talked about it.
Yeah, so I want to help you talk about it. So you're
Okay.
taking Restorative Justice Initiative on campus, which is where Irvin Moore works. Remember our friend, my brother, Irvin Moore. So their big work is bringing education back into prisons, and so being able to earn a college degree. And so right now, Social 19 and one other class, which I forget, are the classes that are being delivered to these 9 incarcerated men
Who are working on their undergraduate degrees.
Right. So they're getting a different version of Social 19 via Sam and Elijah, who you just met.
And as we were asking question, Elijah gave them a training course on facilitation, and then watching them ask questions of one another and extract things and hearing the stories that they have, man, it's game changing. It just changes everything, because when you hear somebody's stories, it just alters the way you can understand or you see them. So that's what we do. That's what you do, and you're a master of it, and so, and truly a master. So let's do this, gentlemen. Why don't you, we're gonna have you sit here. Yeah, like you. One of you sit here. One of you sit here, and we're gonna. And so we're going to have the two of you have a conversation, okay? And we keep in mind, once in a while, a closed-ended question is fine. You need to.
Can I just say something? Yeah. When we're at World in Conversation, we don't use closed-ended questions because it's too easy to do that. So we actually don't use them, even though they have purpose.
Yeah.
But we practice using open-ended questions all the time.
So it's just open-ended questions. What and how, okay? Mm-hmm. And you don't have to worry too much about it, because the moment you ask a closed-ended question or a why question, we're gonna interrupt you and have you change it, okay? So introduce yourselves first, and then we'll.
You're not going to tell them anything about the topic?
Yeah, I am, as soon as you do.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
First do introductions. Do you feel comfortable? Are you like a good distance from each other? Do you feel too far away? Do you feel... That was a closed-ended question, by the way. But does it feel... How would it feel to make it comfortable, like you were conversational, in terms of where you're sitting?
I'm good with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll just loom over you, you know. Okay. But really, we're going to be coaches, not judges. Okay. Okay.
My name is Aryan. I'm a senior studying aerospace engineering. I'm an international student from India. What about you?
My name is Luca. I'm a sophomore. I'm a psych major, and I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Where in Florida?
Fort Lauderdale, like right outside of it.
All right.
You said that so fast. It was like
Sorry.
you're from New Jersey or something.
It's looking nerve-wracking.
Okay, so we're going to start. We'll start with you. All right?
Oh, wait, can I just point something out?
Yep.
Because group dynamics are so interesting, right? So you went first, and Sam didn't give you any directions, just to introduce yourself, and you said your name, your major, and where you're from, and so you did the exact same thing. And you could have said anything, right? But we follow each other. That's why it's so interesting when we start asking different kinds of questions and we open up communication differently. We actually will follow down a different path together. So.
And they're following what students before them do on different days.
Yeah, probably.
So we're all following. And I'm following because I'm like, okay, just do that. All right, so you're going to take about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, okay?
That's a lot of time, isn't it?
What?
Yeah.
I like your face.
And you're going to extract as much information, pull as much information out of Luca about what it means to be gay at Penn State. Okay?
He didn't put that in his introduction.
He didn't put in, he's gay, by the way, all right? I mean, I'm not like, he's like,
Do you want to say anything?
You're going to ask him what it's like to be in a wheelchair at Penn State.
He's right.
All right. So what you want to do is, you're having a conversation, and you want to learn as much as possible about just what it's like to be gay at Penn State. And wait, what's your ancestry?
Mexican and Italian.
Mexican and Italian, but we'll just stick with gay because it's going to be too much if we open it up. Is that all right? Well, hang on. Who knows? Maybe we'll go in a different direction. This is what I put up with right here.
Oh my
Right.
God.
What's your best memory at Penn State? Since, like, you're a sophomore, so you have 2 years.
I think when it like first snowed, because I'm from Florida, so it's like we don't get seasons. And that was just like me and all my friends outside, just like running, throwing snowballs at each other.
And have you been like in Penn State University Park for like all your years, or were you 2+2?
Okay, wait. Can you make that an open-ended question?
Yeah. Can I change the question?
Yeah, you can change the question. But like, what was your curiosity behind that direct question? What were you curious
I
about?
wanted to understand that since there are so many satellite campuses, maybe he had different experiences at different campuses. Mm-hmm. So that was where I was trying to get at. But I thought it was a conversation. It's just like me asking questions. I thought like we could go together.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it that
Good.
way,
No,
Sam.
that's good. What's that?
We're gonna start out like this, and then and maybe we'll dive into like an actual conversation. But right now, Sam has set it up that it's an interview. Sam, are you okay
Yeah,
with
no,
that?
I think it's better that we do that, because then Luca's going to be asking you questions about something. Okay, so by the way, can I just speak to people on the stream? Yeah. Okay. By the way, I want to say something to the women. No, to the men in the room. No, I don't know. I want to say it to somebody. Every time Laurie is in class, okay, Laurie will say the same things I say, and people on the stream will write mean things about Laurie.
Seriously?
Not every time. People will write things they will say things about her that they will never say about me. And it's 100% you being a woman. Like, you just do not have, this is the sexism in the world today, my friends, that you all think you're past, and you are not past. There's just a line that you just who you are, right? And people don't even like to be hearing this at all. They'll critique me for it. And so the reason I say that is because Laurie's going to interrupt you a lot. Because this is not just this, we're not having this conversation. This is actually a mini training experience. So you're going to interrupt a lot. So I'm foreshadowing someone in the chat going like, just let them talk. You know, tell Laurie to just let them talk. Like, Jesus. Dude, sexism is women in here. I'm telling you, sexism is alive and well, okay? That's all I'm going to just tell you. All right, so go ahead, man. Sorry.
Okay, so I was like 2+2 student, and I started my University Park journey in my 3rd year. So a question is like, how did you approach people since you were here from 1st year? So I really don't know how like people in University Park who live in dorms or off campus, like how do you like meet people? How do you like have conversations? How do you become friends?
I think the biggest and easiest way was through like the Instagram bios page. Did you have this? Like,
we did have it for international.
Yeah, and like I just kind of reached out to who I thought was my vibe, kind of. So.
And then like, did you dorm with them or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when.
Okay, wait. Just those are two closed-ended questions, which is fine. But just
I'm trying to build up like how like the journey of like a friend circle like began for you specifically.
That's a great question.
So my roommate was Summer, and like his entire friend group was Summer as well. So I feel like there was only like 4 fall kids, including me, that like were coming in. So I guess like we just kind of got like into that friend group automatically, kind of. We just all met each other. That was
like
it.
And how were the group activities like you know people just hang out, and like how did that converge to like to your 2nd year? Because are you still with this, like are you still living with it?
Yeah, we're still friends. Yeah. But it was good. I mean, like we hung out most of the time, and like it was a pretty big group. So I feel like when we weren't together, we were always with other people in that group. Yeah.
And how, I mean, I do know that there are multiple organizations and clubs in Penn State, specifically in University Park. How is your experience with them? Like, have you had like experience with like multicultural organizations and like
Like with clubs, just in general?
like
Wait,
Or-
you started with the open-ended one and then you went into a closed-ended question. Do you know? Do you have any sense of what made that happen? What the transition was from open to closing it down?
No, I didn't even realize it just like
Okay.
when there, yeah.
No apologies. It's just an interesting thing, and it takes practice, right? But the fact that you started and then you stopped yourself.
I have never been an interviewer, so it's like, you know, like if we have like a two-way conversation, I think it would be.
But you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah. So stay with that question. You said you were trying to figure out how something.
So how are your experiences with like cultural organizations in Penn State? Like what organizations do you like really, you end up going to their events all the time versus like versus an organization you went to and now you're like, not my vibe, like I don't want to be there.
So I played volleyball like all throughout my life, and like coming here, I joined the club team. So and that was the only club I joined, but it's been good. I mean, it's like a family, really. It's just like so niche to say, but
Okay.
So can I say more? Two things. Well, I'll just say one. You're not asking him about being gay.
I mean, I was trying to get to the point where I was like, with my cultural background, I was trying to get like, if he ever had experiences with cultural organizations and how that affected, like, was it a negative impact, was it a positive impact, and like how him being gay or if he was not gay would have changed that experience.
Yeah. So why don't you just go there?
Okay, that's the question.
So
it hasn't been negative so far. I mean, I feel like I know like when to be and like when not to be gay. So I'm kind of not really putting myself in those positions where like it would be negative, but.
So, like, do you not even like try to?
Wait.
That's the one.
just what did he just say? And then open-ended question.
Dude, he just said something.
Yeah,
that
he
was
said something kind of
I know,
big.
when to be gay and when not to be gay. In my mind, I'd be going, dude, you're gay all the time. What are you talking about?
No,
So-
I'm like, why are
Like-
you stopping your like? Why do you want to like stop yourself from being yourself? You know?
Dude, awesome question.
Just for comfort, really. I kind of don't want to like present myself like too much out there and kind of get like attention that I kind of don't want.
But like, when I am an international student or
Right.
I have a cultural background of being Indian, I would not go or like in this class we have less international students than since it's an American culture class. Like I would not be like ashamed or like I would not be even not like stop being like, oh, I'm not like international. My parents have moved to Texas. Like
No, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like I'm like ashamed to say it. It's just like,
I mean,
I don't know.
I could have introduced myself as like I'm from Texas because I've moved there for like 3 years now.
Right.
But I still consider myself international. I still consider myself like from India because even though I've moved to Texas, I do not really know much about the culture there. I really do not know much about being from Texas.
right. I'm not really denying it. I think it's just like not like the first thing about me that I feel like I should tell people. Like not for anything. It's just like I'm more than just being gay. But like obviously when they ask, it's like yeah, like can't you tell? But yeah.
Can't you tell? But then you're also saying that some situations you try not to be. Like, you know, you're choosing to be when and when not. So like, what if someone did not get that? Someone did not click that. Okay.
Can you say that? That's a really good question. Can you just say that question again, just with like confidence that it's a good
Okay,
question?
so like you do say that sometimes like you choose not to be because you don't want the attention, or sometimes like, you know, they ask you a question and you're like, yes, I am. So like sometimes maybe it does not click to someone with an international background or someone with completely different cultural experience. Like it wouldn't click them that, oh, it's something like that. Like, and how does that change your conversation with them then? Because like I would feel like it would.
Hang on.
Trying to think. I don't feel like it really does change. It doesn't change. I mean, like it's just like, oh, like you're gay, and it's like, yeah, and then I think that's just like the end of it, kind of.
I have a question you could ask. Like, what's like some kinds of unwanted attention or some kind of...
Like, what do you mean by unwanted attention or like?
So I grew up like in Broward County in Florida. So like I think it's a pretty conservative area there, and I feel like I went to private high school, like private Catholic high school all my life, and it was just like kind of surrounded by like conservative Cubans, and like it just, I don't know, like I just didn't really want that like attention because it was, it's hard. I've like never spoken about
Like, do you mean like spotlight on you of like being different from the entire group?
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't you like that
Wait,
spotlight?
hang on. That's a closed-ended question. So,
And also, when you start with but, it sounds like are you following this? When you start with but, it sounds like you're going to try to lead him somewhere, and you don't want to do that. Yeah.
and so just to say, and you're doing a great job. You guys just threw yourselves up here, and it's great. You're in front of all of these people. So we're just, you're giving us the opportunity to learn what happens in different ways of asking questions. So just remember, your mission is just to find out as much as you can about him as a gay man, just that part of him, even though he's way more than that. But that's just in this moment what your mission is. So just kind of settle in that and see how you can do that.
What would be the best situation or like best group of people you're surrounded with, or best place you're at where you feel the most like yourself and like the spotlight would not bother you, like the attention would not bother you?
I feel
Lovely.
like at home with my roommates, or like back home in Florida with my like home friend group, or just like all my friends from high school, really.
And how would I, as an international student, like give you that sense of comfort?
Great question.
I mean, I don't think it's like I get uncomfortable with like straight people. Like, no, like I mean, like I have like straight friends and everything. So I feel like if we just like sense the vibe that like, hey, like we're friends, then that's it, really.
Take it one step further.
How did you know I was straight?
This is a great question, is it not?
He does have 2 earrings, by the way. But then so do I, and I have a wife. So.
I don't know. I felt like when you're gay, like you kind of know like the levels of being gay. So it's like, does that make sense?
What levels of being gay?
Like there's like really like feminine gay people, and just like really like people who kind of don't talk about it and anything. But it's like, I don't know. It's just so hard to explain.
So just
You're doing great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And wait, just take a breath.
Right.
And only say what you feel you want to say. But just, if you could, just think out loud.
Okay. So in high school, I think I was like one of the 3 like openly gay kids there, and it was like me, and then it was like this other kid who is like very like just feminine, like he's gay. And like he got kind of attention from other people that was just like name calling. Like I think he got like beat up once in like the just campfire summer that like Florida people had. And I don't know, like I just kind of wanted to like not put myself in that situation, and like just like not have that like negative feedback where it was like I would feel not comfortable being who I am. So it was just like a safety tactic, if you want to call it that, if that makes sense.
Did he answer your question?
Kind of, but I do have a question. How does being feminine make you gay?
Say that. I mean, just
I don't know if it's an open-ended.
No, hang on. Dude, this is such a complex question.
I know.
Right? So
I know. I mean,
this is an amazing question, and it's complex. So you don't think you have to have an answer because nobody else has an answer.
I think just like the most simplest answer was just like he's gay, but he like is feminine. Like I think he's like doing drag now. I don't know. It's like a spectrum.
So how would it be to be like straight but a bit feminine, and versus like being gay and feminine, like different?
I think being straight and feminine is like where like performative came from, kind of.
Yeah.
But like that's not a bad thing. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Some people call me performative, and I'm just like, okay.
How are gay men different from performative men then? Like,
I think that's just them being gay, you know, because like gay men just like, you know, I feel like it's very common for them to like have a sense of style that's like clean and form-fitting and like put together, you know.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna cut this here because we have to switch now. But dude, what you walked in. By the way, what he just walked us into.
I've never been asked those questions
Exactly.
before.
I know,
Wow.
man. It is such a complex. You gotta know it's such a complex question to ask someone, which is fine. It's awesome that you asked it because that's what this is, right? But to do it in front of so many people, to go like, you got to come up with an answer that's so difficult to come up with, man. It's like,
Actually, one of the things that in the work of working with groups in conflict and dialogue, the best questions are the ones that someone has never asked themselves or been asked before, because then they're actually thinking out loud and they're not telling you some preformed, performative idea about themselves, right? And so it's actually, in another context, it's like really powerful to ask questions that haven't been already asked or repeated, and your questions were so authentic. Can we just, before we go, you get to be the one asking questions and not the one answering. Before we do that, how was it for you to be in this?
I had no idea you were gay. Because when you came and I was like, okay, like, I just thought, it did not click me that it really did not matter to me, like, about the question to sexuality, because four of us were just scared, like, oh wow, we are just here, and we were just talking like, what is the topic gonna be, and like stuff like that, until like when it was like, okay, you and I are gonna talk. So I started taking notes. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're wearing the same earrings. I'm like, what are the conversations gonna be like?
Right.
So I never like, when you said that there are different levels of gay, like that kind of clicked in me, like, okay, like it makes sense. Like some people are like, they want to be low key. They just want to be like, they don't want the spotlight, like you're saying, like the unwanted attention, and they're just like with the crowd. And some people are like, they are right there, you know. They like the spotlight. They like to be like how they're standing up for. So
just really interesting. You said, when we said 10 minutes to find out all the things about him, you were like, oh my God, no.
No, I didn't
you were
mean
in
like
it.
no. I was like, is 10 minutes going to be a conversation or is it going to be
I
like,
see.
you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was
So-
good. Really quick, Laurie and I, when we were in Korea 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation with a guy who's a model, like a fashion model, and we were talking about gay men and modeling, and he was talking about this conversation of, you know,
Weren't we just talking about men and modeling, the male aesthetic?
the male aesthetic.
Yeah,
And he was
it
talking
wasn't
about
just-
the estrogen aesthetic and the testosterone
Yeah, yeah.
aesthetic, and like
Is that language here that anybody uses? Like,
because it's one that's used in Korea a lot.
yeah,
We talk with a lot of people about it.
yeah, the testosterone man and the estrogen man.
Just as a way, it's just a way to think about it. But okay, listen, bro. Thanks. Your job is to learn as much about.
Got you.
He's a Hindu, and Hinduism is really important to him.
Yeah.
And your job is to figure out everything you can in 10 minutes.
So it needs to be with like the what and how. How's being like an international student for you? Or how?
No, go right into Hinduism.
Okay.
Just go right into Hinduism.
How's being Hindu at Penn State been for you? Like, how's the culture of Penn State with like kind of affect you kind of?
I think like nothing's really changed as like from my perspective. I think there are a lot of clubs and organizations that have like Indian culture in them, specifically Hinduism. I do remember there was a conversation from last class about the people who are like Hare Krishna and they're like with their drums and everything going around Penn State. That is something we do not, like I specifically do not do in Hinduism, because it's just like, we really, I have never seen someone doing that in India. Or I have not seen that like something being done anywhere else but Penn State, honestly, where like people who are not from Hinduism or like, like they're not from India, but they're like promoting like a different idea of Hinduism.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Can I just add a little bit onto that?
No. We don't have enough time.
Wait,
hang
is
on.
it?
Hang on. We don't have enough time. We'll come back. We'll let you later. Go ahead.
Hard.
What do you know about Hinduism?
Barely.
Okay, but you can start
That's
right
perfect.
there.
Perfect. You know what that? Wait.
Here's a.
What's something that like is interesting about Hinduism, or like something that's just like I should know?
Dude, great question.
I think like a lot of people should know something about Hinduism is that as a Hindu, like I have never been opposed to the idea of Christianity or Muslim or anything like that. I have been to churches. I do go to sometimes Sunday masses. I celebrate Christmas in a church in Texas. I have gone to mosques. So we are not against the idea of there are different cultures or different religions, but I feel like people are against like having Hinduism as a religion or like Hinduism is a cult. Like we are open to it. We are like there are multiple gods.
Oh, yeah, I get that because my parents are Catholic and like I'm not. So, but is that a question?
Can I help you?
Yeah,
Just
please.
And this is for everybody. Also, the best questions come from a beginner's mind, from someone who knows nothing. And that's actually hard to get to. So if you don't know anything, just go from
Start with the very basic
learn.
one.
Just learn, because you don't have to know anything.
How long have you like been in the States for? Or like when?
No.
Hey, wait,
Or no?
let me.
No. This is hard.
It's really hard. Yeah.
What is Hinduism?
What is Hinduism?
You gotta keep it short too. It's a yeah.
I think it's a great mix of history and coming along with like following the history, making it into a religion of like knowing the roots of what our ancestors were like and following it through. That's
Okay.
what
Good. Go ahead.
Does that give you anything?
A little bit.
Serve
Think about what your parents do in the Catholic Church. What they do when they go to church, when they go to Mass. Right? Think about all the stuff that happens. What do you think happens here?
How do you
Yeah, go ahead.
how do you practice like Hinduism?
Dude,
Good.
awesome, man.
I think it's about remembering the gods and the story of the gods, like particular gods and like multiple gods have like history of a war or something. So you kind of learn about it. You take your lessons from it. There are multiple lessons, just like Bible has it. Like every time you read the same sentence, you find a new meaning to it, and you try to learn it. And practicing it is more like practicing it in your real life, like how you can be doing that or following that particular lesson.
What's like one of the lessons that you apply in like your daily life most often?
Most of
That's a great question.
I think it's one of them would be karma. So as everyone has their own work to be done. Like the simplest way is saying like I'm a student. What's my work to be done is studying. You know. So when I'm really confused with what am I gonna do today, or I'm just like I don't have a path to follow, or like everything is dizzy. Like what do I do? So I have to remember that what am I? I'm a student, so I'm gonna follow that. Like okay, I'm gonna study. Or if I was a leader, like what is it to like lead by an example? Or if I was the teacher and I'm like confused, what do I do? So it's like be out there and like teach what you know. So it's just karma. Like you have something. If you're a warrior, you're supposed to fight. You're not supposed to see like how you're fighting. Who are you? You're supposed to be fighting. So you know, like your work.
What's like one of the things that you kind of see yourself like fighting for other than studying?
Other than studying, I feel like I wouldn't say it's specific for Penn State, but being an international student from a different country and different culture, I think I'm constantly fighting for some sort of spotlight or some sort of recognition of the work I'm putting into.
How's that been so far?
Mostly it's positive, especially because usually I'm in Penn State, so I love leadership or like conferences related to leadership, learning about leadership. So there are like Penn State Global stuff like this, like they really help me reach out and like use the potential I could have, like reach for it. So that's been so far, but there are also like negative sides, I would say. It's like sometimes...
So wait, I'm going to just pause you for a second because I want, like we did with you, go back to the Hinduism part. That's hard, right? Because you don't know much about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't...
One final question, because we're going to...
Okay. Yeah, just that helps you to see, like when you're done with this conversation, that something clicks for you. What could you ask?
How many like gods are there, and what lessons do each
Lovely.
give or
there
Send
are
out?
hundreds, multiples.
There's millions.
There are millions, and
Millions
each one
of gods?
yes,
Yeah.
and they all have their own specific principles. They have their own specific teachings to give to you. But it's the bigger umbrella as being good, the goodwill of doing good things, being in the right side of things, and obviously we are humans and sometimes we do the wrong things. But I think getting back on the right side or getting your way there is also a good deed.
Dude, that was an awesome question, by the way. You had no idea you were stepping into the millions of gods lesson.
I had no idea.
How do you feel about your
It was good,
questions? Yeah. Did you see yourself open with
Yeah.
curiosity?
Never asked those before.
Yeah.
You
But
see, like the beginner's mind, like you want to start. We too often start with the place that we think we should know something, and in fact, we won. The biggest thing is like starting with not knowing anything. That's how I teach this class. When I start speaking with every single student, it's with the idea that I don't know anything at all. And they're going to give me something.
one of the things that we sometimes do in our training is say, okay, here's the topic. We're going to talk about gender, right? Imagine you're from another planet and you're looking down and you're like, what the hell is this thing? And start questions there, as opposed to whatever you learned in school, right? Like school gets in the way a lot of times of our own intelligence, because those questions that you both asked are very intelligent.
Yeah, very cool.
So,
Dude, thanks, man.
anything you want to
Thanks.
say though before you go back to your corner?
For me, this was a very positive interaction when you asked questions, because usually there are people who try to ask questions about my religion or to my friend group, and it's usually 100 gods, who's gonna pray to all of them? Do you have anything else to do in your life? Why did you ask me the question then? If you didn't want the answer?
Dude, that's such a great response, though. You have a million gods. Don't you have anything else to do? All you do is pray to your house all day. That would be what I would say.
And you would you'd roll your eyes.
And you'd roll your eyes.
But you're saying, oh, you asked some questions and you felt like you really wanted to know the answer. Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah.
What
Same with
about?
me. I feel like the questions you asked me, I've never been asked those before. I've never really talked about them before, really. So it kind of made me thinking and dude, thanks.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Okay. Dude. Thanks, Mom. Thanks. Okay,
Yeah,
we're good.
same.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Jeff. Yeah. Jeff, you have to say that again. If you guys, yeah, awesome, man. On the stream, hang on, I'm hearing from Jeff. You can put it up if there's. Jeff, you can put something up if there is, and we'll come back to it. A question from the stream. Okay, why don't you?
Wait, do you want? It feels like they just have to breathe and say okay, hi.
Wait, how was that for you?
What? How was this conversation?
Yeah, these two guys.
I hope I thought it was fascinating, and I thought you all did a great job, and I hope you can see the power of how you engaged with another person. So I thought you were doing it really well.
And you got to really complex questions. Really, really complex questions, man. Okay, so thanks, gentlemen. Okay.
So you have the benefit of watching. Does that make you nervous? Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Why don't we
And what
start?
about, how are you feeling? A little nervous.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we have to keep moving.
Well, hang on. No, this is the difference between the two of us. We don't have to keep moving. We just want to, it's is there anything, what can we say, or how can we navigate to have you all feel more calm? Just do it.
Just start.
Jump in. Okay,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Why don't you introduce
Wait,
yourself?
you're going to say your name.
My name is Bryn. I'm a rehabilitation major, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Alex. I'm a second year, and I'm a biomedical engineer.
Okay. Should we start with? We'll start with Bryn. Yep. Start with Bryn. Okay.
Wait, can you know something about each of these
I know
humans
something
that
about each
we
of
don't
you.
know?
Yep.
None of us
Yep.
knows. And so you've selected them because that's going to be the focus of the conversation.
Yep. And we have 10 minutes. It's going to be a strict 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to learn from Alex everything you can learn, but her experience being non-binary. What?
Their
experience of being non-binary.
As a non-binary person, do you think that you like experience like the same amount of like discrimination as other like LGBTQ plus people?
Okay, wait, real quick. That's like a yes or no question,
Oh, I'm
right?
sorry.
No, sorry. Just like, so
Turn it
just,
into an open-ended
just try, start the question with what or how?
How have you faced like discrimination?
Beautiful.
I mean, I feel like I kind of have and I haven't at the same time. Long story short, my uncle outed me to my yaya, which is Greek for grandmother. She's very religious, very conservative, and said, "Did you know your granddaughter is non-binary?" I had to do a lot of backtracking. I feel like that was the biggest thing, but otherwise, I really haven't, because it's not like, it is a focal point of who I am, but at the same time, it's not something I'm like, oh my God, this is me and my entire personality. It's just who I am. So if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Like, I've been called the F slur before, but it doesn't, at this point, I don't care.
Why do you not care? I'm just curious, because I feel like if that was me, I would care a lot.
So try to say it without why. You're doing great. Just how or what.
What makes you not care?
Really good.
At first, when I came out, I was very sensitive because it was such like a big thing. I was telling my parents, and I was finally able to be who I was. And the biggest thing was presenting myself to be who I was and being comfortable. That was, I think, the biggest thing. So back then, I was very sensitive. I was like very, what people will call a woke liberal. I was very much, in the sense, a woke liberal to like the extreme, because I was so sensitive and protective that I was coming out of my shell. I was afraid I was gonna get shattered. As of now, though, I've like kind of grown as a person, and as I'm growing, it's who I am, and I know that. And at the end of the day, I feel like, yes, do I want people to know and acknowledge my pronouns and acknowledge who I am? Yes, I would love that in a perfect world, but at the same time, it's not a perfect world. So I think the biggest thing is, if I know for me and deep down how I'm staying true to who I am and identifying to who I am, then what other people say doesn't matter when it comes to my gender.
How did you know you were non-binary?
Great question.
I was really curious. Like, I really want to know.
No, this is the first time someone's asked me this. So
Wait, that's the first time someone's asked you this?
yeah, it's the first time I've like had conversations with myself about it, but I've never talked to people about it.
Are you okay answering?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess like, I don't know, when I was younger, like I go through waves where it'd be like, I guess I would dress like very hyper feminine and then very tomboyish for a girl. And it was just kind of like how I was. Like my mom would call me, oh, this is my little tomboy, whatnot. Or some days I'd be like, oh, I want to wear a pink frolically dress and wear heels to my 5th grade class. I don't know. But I think middle school is when I really started, because it came into a question of questioning my gender and sexuality, because I was like, at that time puberty happened, and I was like, I'm very uncomfortable, but not in like a uncomfortable, oh my God, what is happening? I'm scared. More of a, I don't feel like a girl. And then I would like sit and ponder, and I'm like, well, do I want to be a guy? And I was like, well, not necessarily. I was like, it took a while. I didn't really know who I was until my freshman year of high school, when I learned the term non-binary, and then I Googled to what it was. And it's kind of like someone who's androgynous. You don't really identify as a girl or a guy. And I'm like, that actually describes how I feel very much well. I was like, I never felt like I fit into one category or the other. I was just kind of like in the middle. I was like that gray area that no one knows what to do with.
How does clothing like make you feel? Like, do you like prefer dressing more masculine or feminine, or
No,
just
hang on.
like?
Just how does clothing make you feel?
That's perfect.
open.
That's perfect.
That's a great question.
Can I just for everybody, the reason that we would say don't say anymore is because when you say how is clothing, and then you say is it this or this or this, it starts to narrow the conversation again. So your first question was perfect.
So clothing's always been an iffy topic, because at first I was very much so like, I don't want to say like stereotypical, but a lot of people who are non-binary tend to bind their chest. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to dress more androgynous. I don't want to look hyper feminine or hyper masculine. I also didn't really know my style at the time. I still don't. I kind of just wear whatever like fits me that day. Maybe I'll wear a dress for an event, or maybe I'm wearing like a pantsuit. Like it's very dependent, because it's not like I used to care a lot, but now it's become more of like, how do I feel, and do I like the outfit? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel me? So I think it's more important about how I feel than like how I'm presenting myself to the world.
What has your experience at Penn State been like, being a non-binary person?
Great.
It's been a pretty positive experience. I haven't received any discrimination. I think I've received more uplifting because of it, because there's so many resources and everything. It's been a positive experience. Like, everyone I've been around has accepted who I am for what I am. Like, I don't deal with people that spread hate and negativity to me.
I'm trying to think of a good question. Have you found that people tend to like respect your pronouns and like respect like who you are?
Yes, and then no. Okay, so it's a loaded question, because when you're growing up, you're very much like, a lot of stuff is genderedized. You're taught boy, girl, he, her, she, him. So it's kind of hard introducing, being like, okay, use they, them, theirs, and I understand they and them are typically used for plural pronunciation when you're going to talk about it grammatically. So at first, people are accepting to it, but it's hard for them to flip that switch in their head. They don't realize it, and it's kind of like, you'll just like remind them here and there. It's the easiest thing, because as much as they are, it's hard. Like, it's almost like you're introducing something foreign to your everyday speaking.
Like a new language.
Yeah, essentially it's like a new language.
No, and I'm a good example of that, right? Laurie can attest. I'm the greatest cheerleader for they, them, and yet I'm constantly tripping up. I'm like, how's that possible? I've been saying this for 20 years, you know?
I think it's actually even more, almost more than language, right? It's
Yeah.
like a set that there's almost no other way to talk in this language anyway.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess it's just how you've been taught from English, because even when I came out and my mom was asking me, she's like, but you use that, like, you'll use that in a plural sentence, like, grammatically, like, you're taught that. And I'm like, well, try and look at it from this perspective.
And I listen to like 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds who just roll with it so fast. So in another 15 years, the conversation will just be so natural amongst so many people.
Are we going to shift?
We have another. Do you have another question?
Yeah. How did your like family and like close friends like react? Like, were they accepting?
No. How did they react?
So at first, my parents didn't know what it was. They didn't really know the term. They were like, what do you mean you're non-binary? And I had to explain. I was like, okay, well, I don't identify as a girl or guy. So they're like, are you transgender? And I went, well, yes, technically, being non-binary, you are under that transgender umbrella. But it just took a lot of like sitting down and explaining it to them. At first, they were more confused than anything, and it was a lot to process, because it just like kind of came out of the blue at one point. I just kind of went, I need to tell you, like, I need to get this off my chest. My friends have been accepting, and the people that I surround myself, have been the most accepting and supportive people, and I'm forever grateful for it. It's just the hardest thing is just kind of like reminding them to flip that switch. Otherwise, they just kind of ask questions. They're like, well, what does it mean to be non-binary? How is your day-to-day life now because of it? It's just they're wanting to learn, and that, like, even if they mess up my pronouns one day, I know they're still learning, and they care about me, so I'll let it go.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. Hey,
You're amazing.
awesome questions.
Your questions and curiosity is
And your
awesome.
your responses are awesome. The cool thing about this conversation is there are a lot of people who, like, we keep talking about transgender community and non-binary, people who are non-binary, but no one ever hears. We just have these ideas out there, you know. So that's cool. Okay, let's switch. So, Alex, Bryn has a disability. Okay, so you're gonna have I'm not gonna say anything about. First off, I can't. You wrote it out. I can't remember. It's very long. So why don't you just? Okay.
What is your disability?
Okay,
Lovely.
a lot. So I have hemiplegic migraines that affect both sides of my body. So I become all four of my limbs become paralyzed, and I've had the same exact migraine since August 15th, 2021. So every single day of my life. Now, we have the paralysis under control, unless I'm very stressed or in a lot of pain from the migraines. So.
How did you find out you had this disability?
So, it was during field hockey preseason my sophomore year of high school. I was just eating lunch one day and I just couldn't move my hands, and I was like, that's bizarre. And then I kept going throughout my day and I was gaining more movement back, and then I got to field hockey practice and I couldn't move my arms, and my parents came and picked me up, and I was walking up our driveway and I just fell, and they took me to the hospital, and they initially were you have a bad headache, this is just this could be normal, you're also a girl, this could just be you having an adverse reaction. And eventually after a while I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? I'm getting off topic, I feel like.
I was asking, how did you discover, how did you find out?
So eventually I was accepted into the Johns Hopkins Pediatric Migraine Clinic, and they diagnosed me.
How has life been with this disability?
It's
Great.
a lot of ups and downs. There are days where I feel amazing, and then there are days where I feel like absolute crap. There are some days where I don't want to get out of bed because the pain is so intense, and I don't want to see anyone. I'm embarrassed a lot about it, especially in high school. I was very ashamed. I went to a very conservative high school, so they were not understanding at all. I was called names. My field hockey team was very very not accepting of me after that. It was really tough. It's been difficult, but the past year has been amazing. I'm so happy with how far I've come.
Can I ask, what are you receiving? What are you, because that can help.
You can say it in the mic, yeah.
There's just a lot of information I'm just trying to process in my head to ask a question, because I don't want to make you repeat yourself 20 million times, because I'm asking a question in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not let your disability define you?
I just try not to think about it. I really try to go about my day as normal as possible. Especially there are days where I'm in a lot of pain. I really just try to see my friends. I found that is one of the best things I can possibly do, is spend time with my friends and my boyfriend. It just makes me forget, and it makes the pain literally go away. It's crazy how that works. I think the social aspect of having a disability is very crazy. How I just feel great when I'm with other people.
So this is back to the last question. You said sometimes you're embarrassed by what do you mean by you're embarrassed?
So when I was
Hang on. That's a cool question, right? She said something so vulnerable, embarrass and shame. And a lot of times we would not go back to that, but no, go right back to the heart of that. Yeah.
So I was very embarrassed because I was called names my first day back at school after being in the hospital, and out of the hospital for 3 months. I think it's funny now, but someone called me a cripple crapple, and
Wait, a what?
a cripple crapple.
Cripple crapple?
Yeah, and now I think it's hilarious, but I went home crying that day, and losing field hockey was really hard for me, because that was my whole life. I played for about 12 years, and I can't run anymore like I used to. I wanted to play club field hockey up here so bad, and then I found out I have to be able to run and keep up. I was so disappointed, but I'm just it's very shameful. I feel to live like this sometimes. I don't know, just facing I'm so sorry. I'm getting a little emotional.
No, it's okay.
It just feels especially because not people aren't understanding. Like that's what like I felt the most shame about like in high school coming back like because I had a cane and a walker, and that was difficult. Like people like in the hallway, like I would keep up like I would back up the hallway and people would like yell like, oh, what's taking so long? And like there are days like where that would happen. I would just go home like. And like I remember this one time the school nurse had to carry me out to my dad's car, and people saw that, and that was very embarrassing.
How have you been able to find like a positive outlet? Because I know you said you lost field hockey. So how were you able to find a positive outlet to maybe like replace field hockey for you?
I put a lot of time into my friends and my family and like my loved ones. I found like going back to what I said about like it really makes me feel better. Like the social aspect just really helps me. And like I know it sounds kind of corny, but like my dog I had at the time was like my best friend, and like I put a lot of effort into her. She was a senior pug, so I put a lot of effort into her, like making her as comfortable as I could like possibly make her. And I found that to be like really like soothing, especially like while I was like paralyzed. I found that to be like also like found that to be really helpful. And like now I put a lot of effort into like my schoolwork. I found that to be a pretty good outlet as well, like just sitting down and focusing.
How has life been here as a student with a disability at Penn State?
There are some days where it's very hard, like getting out of bed to go to class, or like sitting in a classroom with like bright lights is really difficult for me. Or sometimes even just reading from my computer can be difficult. But I found that like the SDR has been really helpful. Like, being able to have like extra time on my tests, like sitting in a dark room taking my tests, that's been really helpful.
Hey, I have a question. Just if I could, these are great questions, by the way, and you're able to really.
No, I'm good, thank you.
You're really able to. Do you have any message for people with? Because there are other people in the classroom who have invisible disabilities, and
it really does get better. Like I know, like at like the peak of it, it seems to be the worst thing like ever, but it really does get better. Like I am beyond happy with like where I am now, and like living with a disability is really hard, but like it does get better.
Cool. Yeah, cool. We have a couple minutes left.
You all four of you. Engaged in really deep conversations with each other, and you did it in front of all of these people, and shared really personal things with each other, but also the questions that you asked were really vulnerable and risky.
Yeah.
And that's powerful, and what a really great example for us to understand like how much power we have as people to really touch each other and build connections with each other. And so often we don't, like we rush into those quick, like whatever things, and don't realize we have the power to just open up conversation to each other. And that is open the relationships and hearts and minds. And you all really took some big risks and showed us that today. I really appreciate that.
And each one of you got asked questions that no one's asked you before, right? Right? And it happened here. Like, I'm thinking, Luca, I'm like, your questions, like the questions you asked him are really just like, whoa, man, they're such cool questions, but they're big. And having you talk and the questions to you, like you never were asked that. So that's cool. That's what this class is, right? It's like, this is the real stuff. It's you all, it's being able to do that. That's the reason I continue to teach, is because you all continue to come up here, and I follow your teaching, your questions. I mean, your ability to do that is profound. Hey, so can we
give everybody
have everyone a round of applause? Yeah, thank you.